Okay, let's jump right into secret number 2 of persuasion psychology, and that is tonality. How do you leverage your tone to trigger your prospect to go beyond the surface and open up to you and tell you what's really going on with them? How do you get that done? And that's through tone. Because you and I both know that what you say is not nearly as important as how you say it. So even if you master what questions to ask and when to ask them, you will get some traction. But honestly, if you don't know how to ask those questions with the right tone at the right time, then you're definitely leaving money on the table, you're leaving impact on the table, you're leaving progress on the table. So let's talk about an example of what this could look like, right? Let's go to like one of the biggest objections that I've seen in my experience that throws off so many sales reps. And that is when the prospect responds to you and says something like, well, we're pretty happy with what we have right now. It's like, where do you go from there? And by the way, just so you know, an objection like that, for the salespeople I've trained that have studied ASQ, they don't typically get objections like that because they are diffusing and eliminating those objections throughout the entire sales conversation so that they're not dealing with that stuff at the end, okay? So let's talk about how this is handled. Well, I can tell you this. The average sales rep is gonna start using rebuttals for that particular objection of, I'm happy with what we have right now. You might start saying, well, we have this and we can add that and we could put this in and that in. Now, notice this. You're having that rebuttal and what you're saying might be great, but you are starting to give away the farm or add things where you don't even know what the gap is or if there is even a gap in what the prospect is using right now. You don't even know that. So when you start to add up all this stuff that you're going to throw in and think it's going to make them go, oh my God, give it to me. No, it builds sales resistance yet again because what you just told them is that what they're using now is crap and your stuff is better. And that's not what the prospect wants to hear. So how do you handle it? Well, the top 1% would handle that in a totally different way, right? So prospect says, you know, we're pretty happy with what we have right now, right? So top 1% sales rep might say something like, you know, Miss Prospect, I think it's fantastic that you're happy with what you have right now. That's absolutely great. I'm just curious though, is there anything about what you're using right now that you would change if you could? If you could change one thing, is there anything that you would change if you could? Now you see what that does? That's a curiosity question. Triggers your prospect to open up and go deeper, makes them think, right? Maybe there's one thing. Now look, I'm not going to tell you that there's always going to be something or you're going to get an answer that you're going to absolutely love. But the bottom line at the end of the day is when you ask that question first, it allows you the space and the grace and the room to actually ask the follow-up question. Because you might be saying, what if they say they're completely happy, no gaps, nothing's missing, I'm good. Now remember that stuff you had in your bag that you thought was so great that you know if you added it, it might make their stuff better. Now with the follow-up question, you get to say something like, well, Miss Prospect, I hear you when you say you're completely happy. If you had ABC though, plus XYZ, is that something that you think would make your current service even better? You see that right there? Again, right? More curiosity. Is that something that you think would make your service even better? Let the prospect tell you. And that's the curiosity question. And again, this tone thing, that's a curiosity tone, right? There's so many different types of tones, like the concerned tone, the doubtful tone, the skeptical tone, right? So many different ways you can use your tonality in a sales conversation that could help your prospect open up to you, go deeper, go beyond the surface and tell you everything that you want to know, selling and persuading themselves on your offer. So that's the tone thing. Now look, that's video number 2, secret number 2. If you're ready to level up your sales team and you want to explore how this ASQ, the timeless selling model, might benefit and work for your sales team right now, click the button below to book a call with me so we can talk about what that could possibly look like. Now, in the next video, we're going to tackle secret number 3 of persuasion psychology. So if you're ready for that, go ahead and click the other button below and I'll see you in the next video.